Okay.
So, when were you born?
1928, February the 3rd,
February 3rd, 1928. Where were you born?
Topton, Mississippi. Topton, Mississippi.
Topton, Mississippi.
Up 45 highway, about 15 miles from here.
Oh, really?
And your parents' name were?
Alford.
What's the first name?
My name,
No, first name of your dad.
Father and mother.
my daddy's name Isaiah
Isaiah what?
Alford.
And your mother's name?
Johnny Jackson.
Okay.
Johnny Jackson.
Now, do you know where they came from? Before they ended up in Topton?
My grandpa come from Old Town.
Wow.
Where is that?
He's trying to do some history, man. He's trying to do some history.
That's in Alabama.
Okay.
Old Town, no, Union, Alabama. They call it Old Town.
Okay. So they migrated to
Okay.
Topton, Mississippi
Right.
from Union,
Union Town,
Alabama.
Alabama to Mississippi,
Okay.
Lauderdale, Mississippi.
Okay. And you said how many siblings, how many kids were there?
My daddy had 6, one wife and 5 with another wife.
6
He
with
had
one
2
wife,
wives.
5 with another one.
Right. On my side is 5, and he's 6 older than me by his first wife.
Oh,
That
okay.
made 11.
Okay. So your mom was the second wife.
Yes. My mama got 7.
Okay.
5 by my dad and 2 by her second husband.
Okay. So,
So that was 11, 12,
Oh.
13 of us.
Okay. So when your dad died, she got remarried.
They separated before we died.
Oh, okay.
They separated in 1930.
Wow. That was unusual back
Yeah,
then.
he didn't die till 54.
Wow. So that was unusual back then, wasn't it?
Well, she had 2 more children after they separated by another man
Uh-huh.
named was Ed Brown.
Okay.
He was from Shucktown, Mississippi.
Oh my
Shut
goodness.
Old Town, Short Town. Okay.
You heard nothing. You heard nothing.
that was Twix there in what they seen that up here.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, Twix in Philadelphia.
Okay.
Okay.
So now, what did your father do for a living?
He was a farmer, 2-horse farmer.
So when you say farmer, are we talking sharecropper? Or did he
No,
own his
he had
own?
his own.
He had his own.
He had his own.
Okay.
He leased his own place and leased it and then raised stuff to live over there. We didn't work for the white folks.
Okay, so, but who were you all leasing the property from?
Howard Pickford, the
Okay.
white man, had a store in Russell. You know where Russell is? That's on this side of Tombstone.
Okay.
Mr. Howard Pickford had a store on the right-hand side, Mr. Price, and had a store on the other side.
Okay. So, and your father leased the land?
Leased the land from Mr. Howard Pickford
Okay. And
and raised, cotton, corn, and
how many
strawberries and like that.
cotton, corn, strawberry?
Strawberries.
Okay.
He used to sell
Wow.
strawberries. You pick
Really?
strawberries and he used to sell strawberries.
Okay.
Wow.
How many acres?
340.
So he leased 340 acres. Okay. And when you came along, did you work the farm?
I worked, when I come along, when they stopped, government paid you not to plant cotton in 1935. And my daddy stopped planting cotton. And and I come on, it wasn't, cotton was, they paid you not to plant cotton. You got a check for 4 years not to plant cotton. And when I come along, they wasn't planting cotton. And he got wife separated and he stopped doing stuff.
Oh, really?
Then when I got up some size, I lived with my aunt,
Uh-huh.
my mama's sister. She was named Christine Henny.
Okay. So can we go back to this? The government paying not to plant cotton. Do you remember why?
They're paying them now not to plant cotton. You don't see the plantation. Folks had plantation, white man had plantation, had a lot of white Negroes on his plantation. They stopped you from planting cotton and paid him not to plant cotton, and that causing black folks to come out the country and go to town and get jobs.
So was it more?
They
stop
pay
them
you
from
right now.
competing?
If you raising something and you get too much of it, the government pay you not to raise it.
Yeah.
To keep the price up. If you want to know what I'm talking about.
Okay. Okay.
Anything you're raising right now, and it's raising too much of it, they'll pay you not to raise it.
The black man was getting ahead by raising his own cotton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But did white farmers stop planting cotton?
No.
So basically, we stopping the competition.
Yeah.
So
He
black
got
folks-
when they got where he could get the farmer and machine to work, he get rid of the labor man. He had the big farm. And you had the horse and mule, it wasn't putting out enough, and he paid you not to interfere with the big man.
We're knocking out
The
competition.
middleman.
Right, he knocked you out.
Yeah.
Just like everything else, the big man can survive and you can't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then he'll give you, like they're doing now. They getting us stimulus checks and now we don't, I'm gonna get a check next week or something, you're gonna get one. You don't know what the check is for. It's to cut people out of jobs. They're gonna put robots on these jobs. And they're gonna lay off all these folks. And they think it's something for nothing. Flip you right back where you come from.
Okay. You've seen this game play out before.
Huh?
You've seen this game play out before.
This is a marble game. That's all they're doing. Flipping a cone up and call it in there.
So who was working the property? Your father had 300 and some acres.
He was working in us children.
Okay.
And he hired folks to work for him.
So he hired some people to work for him.
Right, right.
Okay.
If you pick strawberries and like that, he'll pay you by the quart. He'll give you 2 cents a half a quart and he'll get 9 cents.
Okay. Okay. Now the children, what you got paid? What children get paid?
By the day, you give you 45 cents a day or something like that. I used to work for, when I first started working, I worked for a white man. I worked about an hour. He gave me 7 cents an hour.
Oh.
He gave you 7 cents an hour?
Yeah, I made 7 cents an hour.
Wow.
Now, but you weren't working on your dad's farm.
No, I was working for another white man named Guy Harvey.
Okay.
He had a sawmill. He paid me 7 cents an hour.
What'd your dad pay you when you were working for him?
My daddy
Yeah.
feed me, and that's all.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to get. I'm trying to see if you had some kind of other contract.
Contract is laid out that
So how many kids was in the house at the same time? You said it was 6?
Five,
5? How big was the house?
4-room house.
4 rooms? Okay. How do we heat?
Had a double fireplace and heat with wood.
Okay.
Had a fireplace and had 5 bricks, make a fire in the middle of the house. And a chimney up in the middle of the house, a fireplace on that side and a fireplace on this side. And had 2 rooms on this side and 2 rooms on the other side. One was the kitchen and one was the dining room and two bedrooms.
Now, did y'all own the house?
Yeah,
Okay. The property that your dad was leasing,
he was listening and finally he bought it.
so he eventually ended up buying
Yeah,
300 and
Right. 340 acres.
340 acres. That's still in the family?
No, about 15 years ago, they decided to sell it. My older brothers and stuff was living out there on it. Everybody left but my older brother, and he was staying out there. And he started selling TD'Amore for it, and he didn't give nobody no money because he was staying out there. If we wasn't giving him no money to pay the tax, they gonna take it anyway. And my sister and them all got together and started to sell it.
300 and something acres.
So they sold it. I was in Detroit, and they sent some papers up there for me to sign. I agreed with them to sell it. Because they was going to take it, wasn't nobody paying the tax on it. And after 3 years, you don't pay the tax, they'll take it away from you. Somebody have to pay tax right now. If they give you 1,000 acres of land and the tax $300 or $2,000 a year, you ain't got nothing, you can't pay it. They're going to take it away from you. If you own something of it and ain't got no money, you can't own it. You're going to take it away from it because you ain't going to be able to pay the tax. I'm giving away a house right now. I bought it in Detroit, and they sent me the papers down here. I got some grandkids. And he can, right here, and the tax on it, they won't pay it, and they're going to take it away from you. You see what I'm saying?
I see what you're saying.
You have to pay tax up there all the time if you've got any money coming. Only somebody don't pay tax if somebody ain't got nothing coming.
He gonna pay it, I believe.
So how much did we end up making today crying too much?
Huh?
For the sale of the, how much did you sell the 390 for? How much money did that go for?
340 acres.
340 acres. My daddy bought it for 50 cents an acre.
He bought it for 50 cents an acre.
And sold it for $33 an acre.
And you all ended up selling for $33.
Right. I got my share out of $33 an acre. When they multiplied it by 11, I got 11%.
Okay.
That's heartbreaking.
Now, what was a day like? We'll say when you was a child. Like
What it's like?
what was a day like?
What you do during the day?
Did you go? I know at some point. Did you guys go to school?
I went to school for 3 months like that.
For 3 months?
Yeah,
3 months out the year?
yeah.
Okay. Now, what was the school like?
The school, the church is there now. I went by there a couple of weeks ago, me and him. The church is still there, Galilee Baptist Church.
So the schoolhouse was the
That's
church.
where I went to. That's where I went to school at in Galilee Baptist Church.
Okay.
In a church.
So did you have grades?
Yeah, that's like they do now. I had one book.
One book.
One
Okay.
book had more than one thing in it. It had arithmetic, reading, and the spelling, and all that was in one book. Now they got a speller, a geography. When I went to school, they had one book till you get to the 5th grade.
Okay.
What
Yeah.
happened in 5th grade?
You get 3 books. You get a geography, and you get a speller and a reader when you get in the 5th grade.
Okay.
I didn't ever get to the 5th grade.
So how far did you make?
3rd grade.
3rd grade. Now, everybody was in the same room, right?
Yeah.
Regardless of the grade?
Well, they were in the same room, but some of them sit up front, this grade and this grade behind that grade and that grade behind it. They had 2 teachers there.
2 teachers. But we got going from 1st to 12th grade.
Right. The school didn't go to no further than the 6th grade.
Oh, we just went to the 6th grade.
That's how the school would go. If you got to the 7th grade, you had to go to another school. This school didn't teach no how to in the 6th grade. They call it the elementary school.
What was the other school? The 7th grade on. What was that?
They call it junior high, 7, 8, and 9, high school, 10, 11, and 12.
Okay.
You had to leave from where I was at in the country and go where they had that at in town.
How far away was that?
I just told you 15 miles from here.
Ooh.
50. Now, how was you traveling? How'd you get to school?
Walker.
Okay.
Got there.
So now, if
Ride a mule or an oxen or something.
so to get to the school in town, you had to walk too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't go.
Okay.
Now some children went that rode a bicycle and come down here and stayed and went to high school. I didn't go.
Okay.
Okay.
A lot of folks didn't go too far in school when I come along.
Well, see, that's what I'm asking, because they say, my grandpa, what grade he make it to?
Oh, I don't remember.
He wasn't in there long.
Well,
I want to say, they say he got out
They
of
just-
third grade.
they just lately started back in the 70s where everybody would have to just about
had to work, you know,
have to graduate now.
Right, right.
Like
right.
now, you can't get a job now if you ain't got no
Yeah.
education. When I get a job anywhere, didn't have to have no education. The man asked me what kind of test I want to take. I can tell him something. No, that ain't what I didn't tell him that. No.
So now when you,
I told him if I went out to Ford, I went with the city of Detroit, and I told him what kind of test you want to take. I told him I want to take an oil test.
Oil test.
Oil
Oil
test.
test. Okay.
That's what
Yeah.
they tell him.
Okay.
I got hired just like you had the 12th grade. So I took that test. I can get driving license. Go down there right now, and they asked me, I want to get some driving license. I told them I can't read and write. They said, well, you can read the sign, and you name them signs, I can get my driving license. I know what to do. You don't got to read and write to do nothing. You just have to tell the folks what you can do.
Yeah.
That's what we want to ask you.
okay, so when you stopped going to school, what was you doing at home? What was your day like at home?
At home, in the summertime, you have to work, chop cotton, tote water to the folks till I get water and carry it down in the field where the folks couldn't quit working. I had a bucket and carry water to them.
So you was toting water across them 340 acres.
Right. No, not all of it. Not all of it. They just cultivate so much of it.
Okay.
And see here, he cultivates, he had a limit on planting.
Okay.
If you want to farm right now and go downtown to the Farm Bureau and tell them you're going to farm, they'll tell you, sir, what kind of size farm you're going to farm. You tell them, I want to plant 4 acres of cotton. That's all you can plant. If you plant 5 acres, they're going to come out there and manage it, and you have to ply it under. You have to do what you signed up to do. And the stuff that you're going to sell, there's a limit on it. And the stuff you can't sell, you can plant much as you want and feed it to the hogs and stuff like watermelons and corn and okra and stuff like that. You feed the hogs and make them fat and kill them. That's the meat we eat, and that's where we got grease from. We had our own grease and our meat. We didn't buy nothing like that. We made our own sugar. We made our own sugar and stuff.
Really?
We didn't have to buy nothing
Oh.
but some flour. That's all.
Okay.
That's the only thing we had to buy.
So now, when we go to the food part, how did you eat throughout the year? Cause did you have
We throughout the year, when we farm, we raise peanuts, sweet potatoes, ice potatoes. We'll dig them up and put them in a keel. And I say bed them in a keel.
in a what?
In a
Potato
keel. Put them back in the ground.
Okay.
Fly them up and dig a hole in the ground
Okay.
and put them back in the ground and put straw over layers of them like that and kill them back up. And when you want some, you can go out there and reach your hand up in there and get some of them. Peanuts, you put a pole up there and stack them around the pole
What's that?
like you do hay. And you eat the peanuts. When you want some peanuts, you go out there and pick some peanuts and parsley. Like you wanna, and pecans, that kind of stuff. You put them in a barrel and eat them.
Did you have a smokehouse?
The smokehouse is where you put your meat at and put a fire up under there and get hickory wood now and make a fire and make it smoke and have smoked meat. Make the meat come dry and chew the meat. Now you have to freeze it and put it in a freezer and stuff like that. Back there then they didn't have no freezer.
Did your smokehouse ever catch on fire?
No, you put it in the ground. You dig a hole in the ground
Okay.
and put the fire in like the hole here in the ground.
Okay.
You go down in the basement and the wood is up here. And that's where you put the frame at up here and put it down in there where ain't nothing but dirt down there. And there wasn't nothing to catch the fire.
Okay.
And get that hickory wood and smoke the meat and dry it and hit a kill and you can keep it 2 or 3 years. Now you freeze it and you freeze the meat now you keep it 6 months, it ain't no good.
Yeah, freezer burn. Yeah.
But we eat it anyway. All of the meat you got in your deep freezer, you go and buy 100 pounds of meat and put it in a deep freezer, and instead of eating it all up, you'll eat some of it and put some more meat in front of it. The meat on the back there been back there 8 or 9 months, it ain't fit to eat, but we got it in the freezer right now. If you was to go and have your stuff tested in your freezer, you had to throw it all away. You ain't had it tested, you cooking and eating it. It ain't fit to eat.
Okay. So now you told me about the peanuts and the potatoes, and you told me about the meat. What about the vegetables, the other vegetables?
The very canner.
Candy. Okay.
Buy you some jars and can 'em. Can everything you eat, you can can it. That's like you go to the store now and buy canned goods. You can it, you buy your own jars and stuff and can your own stuff.
Yeah. Did y'all eat a lot of dry peas and beans during the
Peas,
winter?
can your peas, sell them and can them, and okra can and all that kind of stuff, you can it. You want a jar, something other, you can open it up and that's like you can go to the store now and buy canned goods. They did it themselves.
Yeah.
You learn how to do stuff. Now, folks don't know how to cook.
Yeah.
Gotta be preserved too, right?
Yeah, make your own pastas and all that kind of stuff. You made that and put them in the place, and when you want some, you go and get them. Made your own syrup. You didn't buy no syrup like that now. You have to buy everything you eat.
And chicken lady eggs.
Oh, y'all had chickens out in the yard.
Chicken laid eggs, guineas, turkeys. We had guineas, turkeys, and chicken.
Okay.
We had 3 kinds of chicken.
Really?
Okay.
Had your own turkeys.
You had the guinea eggs. When you get them guineas lay eggs, you can't get the egg out of there with your hand. You had a long spoon with a handle on it. You had to, well, he couldn't smell your hand. He won't lay there no more.
Really?
You have to get a spoon with a long handle on it to get the eggs out of there.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Like they had a dipper to get the water, huh?
Well, we made our own dip out of gold.
Okay.
Pull it out.
Yeah, I had a well in the backyard.
Made our own dip.
They had a wash pan too, right?
Wash pan, wash your hands.
So you had the 4-room house, double fireplace. You had a well in the backyard.
Right.
You had an outhouse.
Well, what?
Outhouse. Bathroom.
If you went to, you went out.
They had go in the yard. They go in the woods.
You went down in the woods somewhere.
So y'all didn't have an outhouse back there?
No, went out there in the woods somewhere.
Need some leaves.
All right, hold on, just a second.
They couldn't afford no toilet paper.
Let me,
cars or something the other way you done sell the car and got them cars.
Okay,
You there.
so we were saying that if you had to use the bathroom, you had to go out in the woods. Y'all didn't have an outhouse.
Right. You had to go out in the woods.
All right. So now at nighttime,
You
Did you
still
have-
had to go out there.
you still had to go out there. You didn't have to pay anything in the house.
Well, if you did it now, you had to carry a pan out there. Folks say, I don't want to smell that stuff. Get it out of here.
Got a slap job, didn't you?
Yeah, had a slap job for the young guys, and then the older one had to carry it on the outside and dump it.
Okay.
That's all. You still had to take it down there and pull it out.
So you was going outside regardless.
You
So
had
going
to,
outside.
everything was on the outside. The dishwater, when they wash the dishes, they pour the water outside.
Okay. See, I've been doing these little interviews, and I learn stuff when I do the interview.
Now,
Now some
it
people
does,
had our house.
Yeah,
some folks
later on.
did.
But he was born in 28. So,
Well, a lot of the folks I'm doing, they born in.
They didn't have him, which they had when I first moved him to my region, like go back downtown, and the houses here, this house here, his other house was down there, away from this house.
like 100
In my region here. I stayed here.
Mm.
When the outhouse was away from the house, back in the back there. You still had to go outside to get out there. To the outhouse, it wasn't in the house.
So,
Right here in town.
did you serve in the military?
No,
Your dad?
no.
Okay.
One of them did, my stepdaddy did.
Okay. He served. What branch he served in?
He was in the 92nd Division Engineer.
Army,
Army.
army.
Yeah.
Okay. So, race relations. What was race relations like when you was coming up?
Huh?
Race relations.
Race.
Oh, well, the white folk was just tell you what to do. You had to do what they said do, that's all.
So basically, as long as you stayed in your place,
Yeah.
it was gonna be alright.
As long as you didn't interfere with them, they didn't interfere with you. But if you met some white women coming down the street right there, you had to get out the street. If I was a black man,
Go to the other side of the street.
I had to let them through.
Had to.
If you want to live, you didn't have to do nothing. You want to live, the white folks gonna kill you. Don't get out the way. If you want to live, you had to let them by.
So,
They may like you raped them or said some to them or something. You don't say nothing.
Like they do now.
Some of them are doing now. You can't go out there in the country where ain't nothing white folks there and watch what they do. Now I live in Detroit, and you come up there and go to Dearborn. That's what white folks there in Dearborn. And come up there right now and move out there in Dearborn and leave home. And watch your house be nothing but rotten eggs thrown all over when you come back.
so did you ever see or hear anybody in the neighborhood who violated that rule? And
They violated every day. The police and everybody violate the rules.
Well, I'm talking about the black folks.
The
not-
black folks, if he violate a rule, he going to jail if they can catch him. If they tell a black man right now, you can't come down that street right there, and he go down the street right there, he gonna pay a price if they catch him. That's all I can say. If you want to pay the price, you do what you want to do. But if they catch him, you gonna pay the price. And they got the folks out there to catch him. Got your folks to catch you. If they paying. Your folks, I ain't talking about the white man, if he gonna pay your folks to do what he want done,
Yep, they
that's
sure
the one
will.
gonna harm you.
Yeah.
They go to church to find out what kind of stuff you talking in church and go back and tell the white folk what you done.
Yeah.
You think they talking stuff in the church about Jesus Christ. They up there listening to tell the white man know more about what's going on in the church than you do. They go back and tell him.
So now, today, time, everybody been talking about this thing called talk, where black people have to have this conversation with their kids so that they'll know how to survive. Similar to what you was just saying.
Well, when I come along, I went to stay with my aunt in Lockhart, Mississippi. I was 11 years old. Here was a store all the way from here to that street up there. You could walk in and walk all down. Great big store. Had two doors, one here and one over there. It had a bench go down side of the store all the way from here up there to that road up there. On each side of the store. And the white man was sitting down there on the bench. He was way down here. And I stopped up there at the end and sat on the bench. And he didn't say nothing to me. He went and told my aunt. He said, Christine. She was named Christine in it. He called her Christine. He said, yes, Mr. Bunny. He said, that little rat of yours, I'm going to sit on that bench. Stay with you. Say, I started to kill him. Say, if you ever do it again, I'm going to kill him. And that night, I come home. She told me, said, yeah. I said, what's this? Good thing you still living. Mr. Bunny said he started to kill you by sitting on that bench. He done killed 5 folks by sitting on the bench with it. I said, what? I see him sit on the bench. I know not to sit on the bench with him no more. He killed everybody that sat on the bench with him. He colored guy. Then wouldn't and bury him. Then nobody won't say nothing. Brian. I know you heard her talk of George Brian. He had a plantation that if a man couldn't sink a pick up to the handle, he'd kill him. His brother was the boss of the county road, like they catch you for drunk and put you on the county road like they do now. You know about the county road, they catch you right now, drunk or something, or and you won't pay the fine, they'll put you in the workhouse and have you to sweep the streets. His brother was the boss, Mr. Bunny Brown, and he used to have them guys digging ditches and stuff like that, and it couldn't sink the pick like he wanted to sink the pick, he'd kill them. Said it wasn't worth living, black folks. And wouldn't even help nothing about it. They did, and they did what they wanted to do.
So, did you hear stories about, you say your stepfather was in the military. We had the Red Summer 1919. Did he ever tell you any stories about anything that happened?
About my daddy, only thing he ever told me about, he went to school 3 months, and he had to go by some white folks' house to go to school, and they'd sit out there and get him if he come through there. And that's why he couldn't go to school. He had to pass some white folks' house. They go to school and they'd come out there and whoop him and if he come down through there. That's the only thing he ever told me about. In a white folk, he was born, my dad was born 1873, back in the slavery time. That's when the white folks put you and chain you together and tie you up at night and work you in the daytime. And tie you together at night where you couldn't go nowhere. That's what he come up. So he had to really mind to survive. Wasn't nothing you can do.
Now, you said he was a 2-horse farmer. How did he get to the point where he was able to, he owned his 2 horses, right? And leased the land. How did he get to the point where he was able to buy his own horses and be such an independent
got everything on credit from the man he leased from,
Okay.
Mr. Howard Pickford. He had the land. He leased. He'll let colored folk work on his plantation. You want to work for him by the day or stay on his place, you could do that. If you want to lease the land for him, and he do that, he get 3. Everything you do, you count it. If you raise 3 bales of cotton, you had to give him 1 and you take 2. If you had 3 bushels of corn, you had to give him 1 and you take 2. Everything, he'd get a part of it and you keep the rest of it for working and everything. He just furnished the land and the house and let you have stuff on credit, the food and stuff, because he had a store. And he'd take all this stuff out and you sell your little stuff to pay him for eating. He'll furnish the food and stuff for you.
So when you got your crop, you get 3 bales of cotton, you got to give him 1.
Right.
But then, after you sell your stuff, you have to pay him.
Right now you had to pay him.
Leasing.
For leasing the land.
The land.
And the mules.
The mule and whatever.
And he furnished everything for you to eat and all that kind of stuff. You had to pay him. Out of your money.
He was getting you going and coming.
Huh?
He was getting you going and coming.
Ain't no choice. Ain't no choice.
You didn't have no, you do it or get away from there. It wasn't nowhere to go. Where you went was the same way. Wasn't nothing no different. It's like right now, if you right now going looking for a job right here in Marie, Mississippi, if you ain't got some kind of scales, all of the jobs paying the same thing. I go up there to Walmart a while ago. The guys up there pushing them burgers from out there, they just making them every wage. They know that's all. Ain't everywhere you go there to Walgreens, he paying the same thing.
So now you ended up going to Detroit working at the Ford plant.
Yeah.
How did you get the skills?
I didn't have no scale. I'm trying to tell you now.
So they hired,
told him what I just went up there and told him what I know. That's all.
so what they hire you in at?
Well, they got an employment office there you go to.
So you started working doing what? What was your initial job?
They'll carry you in there and somebody show you what to do.
Okay.
You don't. If when you get hired, they'll show you what to do. So many days you don't do nothing but somebody show you what to do.
Okay.
Now, if somebody shows you what to do, and to you learn what to do, they'll show you.
Okay.
They're not going months and months training you now. You're going to have to
On the job training.
know how to do something, and I ain't going to show you all day and all night, and it keeps showing you.
Learn as you go.
Yeah.
So what did you end up learning how to do?
I learned how to put a part on a car.
Okay. So you
You
was
see,
on the,
they tell you, say, put the wheel on that car right there. You put it on there. Show you how to put it on there and put the lugs on it. Somebody on the other side is coming down, some
Sitting
pulling
there.
it down there. You just do your part, what he tell you to do.
okay.
And that's all. They're going to show you what to do. Put the headlight in. You can put it in if it keeps showing you. That's all you do. Just put that, and they're going to be coming just like that. And you're going to have to put the headlight in because the nothing coming like that. Down to call the assembly line. Regular moving. And all you got to do is put the part on there that they show you to put on. Don't worry about nobody else to do what they show you to do.
Now how long did you work there?
I worked there about 3 or 4 years.
Okay. Then where'd you go?
I get laid off every year. And I got a job with the city, they don't lay you off.
Okay.
And I stayed with the city.
What was you doing for the city?
I started to work at the golf course.
Okay.
Rest for golf course. City of Detroit got 7 golf courses.
Okay.
Tiger Woods come up there and played major at the golf course. I worked at Redford Golf Course.
What you do on the golf course?
I learned how to cut grass. I learned how to cut the green. I learned how to sweep the green. I learned how to move the cup and put the flag up on the green. I did it all.
Did you learn how to play golf?
they give you a half a day in furniture club. Every week you can play a half a day free.
Did you take advantage of it?
I played a little. I didn't ever get too carried away with it.
Oh, really?
But you can play a half a day if you work out there. You can play a half a day free, and they furniture club and everything.
Okay.
If you wanna get into it, you can get into it.
So it wasn't your cup of tea?
It wasn't for me. It looked like an easy job, but it ain't.
So let me ask you this. So you come from Mississippi, where if the white folks coming down the side of the road, you got to move to the other side. Seemed like it was a little different in Detroit.
It was different in Detroit. It's only different it was in Detroit. They got in Detroit. They got you where you at. Now you understand what I'm trying to say?
Keep you separated.
Oh, that's all of it. I ain't gonna say nothing there.
Tell me what he said.
Now, you just said what it is. You ain't gonna see no white women walking down that street right there. That's all. Like go out there in Dearborn, you won't see them no white folks walking down that street there like we do.
Yeah.
So they always
And
say-
you won't be walking down that street because if they got their own police and in their own neighborhood, and every time you see somebody that don't live in that neighborhood, the police is coming and want to know what can we do for you, what you're looking for. You see what I'm saying? You can't walk down the street up there like you can here. I saw some folks this morning walking down that street right there. If they was in Detroit out there in Dearborn or Grosse Pointe where them rich white folks stay, they got their own police gonna come out there and want to know what you're looking for.
So it's off limits, in other words.
You're going to have a reason to be there. You going to jail. You know, fine.
There's a saying, they say that like down south, they don't mind black folks getting close, but don't get rich. But then up north, you can get rich, but don't get close. So
Well,
is that kind of true, what you saying?
I'm going to say this here up north. Down here, man, I tell you something. Up there, they won't tell you nothing. That's all, like, if you understand what I'm saying. Down here, they'll tell you something. Up there, they won't tell you nothing.
Tell you something like what?
Well, if you're working at a place and you doing something, somebody here will tell you, or Mr. Johnson, you doing the wrong thing, you're going to have to do such thing. Up there, they won't say nothing. They'll put it up on a signboard somewhere. Always write a sign up, put a sign up there. As you go in Detroit, you see signs all up. See them signs? Ain't a sign up there telling me nothing but one sign here saying children is playing. That's the only sign I saw on this whole street from here to the hospital. Saying children is playing. You go to Detroit, here's the sign on, here's 10 signs from here to that corner up there telling you what you can't do. And you can't park in front of this house here. You understand what I'm saying? If you park in front of one of the white folks' house, you come back, your car gone. The police is coming and get it because they're going to call them. They definitely going to call them.
They got higher standards than the South. What you're saying. Their standards are a little more discreet.
Yeah, you're going to have to have your parking place.
Less tolerance.
Now you go to Japan to buy a car, you have to buy a parking place where you can buy a car. Now, you see what I'm talking about? Up there, you will have to, can't just go down the street parking your car in front of other folks' house. When I first got up there, I know the woman in the project over there. I come back down here, and this lady told me, said, what do you call it up there in Detroit? I said, what's that? She in Avon, Michigan. I went out there to see her. I didn't know I couldn't park in front of nobody's house. I was looking for a house out there in Avon. I lived in Detroit. It wasn't about 60 miles from Detroit. I went out there and found the house, and I was going to park and going up there and ring the doorbell. And she was down in the basement washing. And it took her some time to come from down in the basement. She wanted to put on some old clothes before she come to the door. She told me to wait. She was down in the basement washing. And while I was waiting on her to come up there, I ain't paying nothing, no attention about my car. And when she got up there, the tow truck was out there getting my car. She said, where you park at? I said, I parked right there. She said, you can't park in front of nobody's house. I said, go get your car. I looked around, and the tow truck with my car was going up in there like this. I said, what? I run out there to stop me and said, you have to come to the police station to get it, sir. Carried her on out to the police station. She said, I can carry you around there. I went around there and charged me $13 to get it out. You couldn't park in front of nobody's house and all that. And signs up, no walking. I ain't saw a sign right here saying I can't walk. And if you ride a bicycle, you got a bicycle road for you to ride a bicycle. You can't ride a bicycle on that road right there. They got another road that this is for bicycles, this is for cars. You can't get it mixed up. You get out there, you're going to get a ticket. The man going to give you a ticket. The police we see out there riding a bicycle, you're going to have to ride the bicycle in the bicycle road. Yeah. Then you walk, you're going to have to walk on the, there, they got the walkway there. You have to walk in the where you say walkway. You see what I'm saying? You can't walk in the street.
Well, let's shift gears for a little bit. So you were married? You were married?
Yeah, I was married.
How many children you got?
5.
5? Okay.
I had 5, all of them dead.
Really? Okay. Sorry to hear that. So how did you and your wife meet?
How did what?
How did you and your wife meet?
Meet?
Mm-hmm.
How did we meet? I was here. I went over to Charlie's.
Now what's Charlie's?
Huh?
What's Charlie's?
This is a giant. This is a juke giant.
Okay, get it to him.
It was on 31st and 12th.
Okay.
And I went over there with my uncle's wife.
Okay.
And my wife, this lady was in there.
Right.
And I asked her if she drank beer, and she said yeah.
Okay.
And I bought her some beer, and we sat down there and started drinking beer, and I got a phone number and stuff like that. And that's how I met her.
Okay.
And we got married.
Okay.
You got a phone number back then?
He had the 3 numbers in was the phone numbers in.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, it got 7 numbers now, ain't it?
3 numbers.
The phone had 3 numbers.
So you only had to dial 3 numbers?
You had to dial 3 numbers to call?
That's all the phone number was in my region was 3 numbers, that's all.
Operator had connected.
Switchboard.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all. They give you 3 numbers, and you had to call the operator and then tell them to put you on the line to somebody. They had to dial somebody.
Okay.
They had to dial the operator, and wasn't 3 numbers.
Okay. So, but
And
your wife.
you tell them who you want, they'll do the dialing for you. I got married in 1947.
Wow.
Now where did you meet at Charlie? What year was that?
Huh?
You got married in 47.
I left Top in 46.
So what year you meet her though?
What year you meet her?
Leave here.
What year did you meet your wife in Charles?
I was 46.
47. Well, you moved. You worked fast.
So you ran a little that quick?
You ain't wasting no time. After you got married, did she still let you go to Charlie's?
Oh, I don't want to do that.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
You can't talk right now.
operator.
I love them all. She had some more sisters and brothers.
He said that you still go to Charlie's after you met your wife.
Oh, that was a big place that used to gamble at. And I used to gamble. And you go there and gamble. They had slot machines and all that stuff in there. Just like they got at the Messina here. They had them back there when I was a boy.
Really?
Yeah.
In 46, 47, they had slot machines and all that.
Everywhere here.
What?
All these giants had slot machines on them. All downtown everywhere.
Wow.
That ain't nothing new about them slot machine at the casino.
So Charlotte was a popular place. Then
They had somewhere to go here back there.
No, I'm
Then.
good, thank you.
Mike was good.
Tom.
Water or soda or something.
I'm all right, thanks. Sir.
They had somewhere to go every night here. They had a dancing hall downtown. Mother Lisa, up over the fire department, go down there and dance. They had a show, 2 shows, went to 3 shows here.
Now, did you have any celebrities coming through here? Was this part of the Chitlin circuit?
What you call celebrity?
James Brown. I know they got the Chitlin circuit. They talk about.
Yeah, they had a blind boy, Lemon and all of them, Philip and them used to come in.
Okay.
Peg leg back.
Okay.
All of them used to come in.
Okay.
They had a band, guy used to just play up and down the street. They called Lovely Lee. He would play a guitar, wasn't a B.B. King.
John Lee Hooker come in?
John Lee Hooker, all of them used to come in.
I just heard about the Chitlin circuit.
James Brown, all of them used to come in. He come out the Penitentiary, James Brown did. That's the way he learned how to play it.
Were you here when the Freedom Riders was coming through here?
Who?
The Freedom Riders when they killed.
No, I was gone. I wasn't here when they killed them boys going up to Philadelphia.
Swarming.
That was in the. I left here in the 40s.
You was here.
Yeah, he was here. He knew about that. I wasn't here.
What was the atmosphere like during that time?
Well, see, I was a young boy back then. I was probably about 8 or 9 years old. When you had to be 60, what, 7, 68?
Yeah, around that time.
So I used to go up to his brother's house and play with him. He's supposed to be our cousin,
Really?
James Chaney.
Uh-huh.
He had a brother named Ben Chaney. See, me and Ben used to hang together back in the day, you know. And they had NAACP building. You know, we used to bar down the street, take a little signs and stuff, you know, pass them out. But it was tough back then, man. You couldn't say certain things, you couldn't do certain things. There was a limitation of what you could do and say, you know. You see what it was, those white guys, Warner and the other guy, they came down here, he took them to the club, you know. I remember that. They went over to the club, but they would accept, you know, white guys hang with black guys like that. You couldn't do that. They consider you one of us. You hang with us like that, you consider one of us. That's why they killed you.
They killed them too.
And see, but they was going way and beyond, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ain't supposed to go out there and do what they were doing. They were trying to bring people together.
Right.
And they was trying to get people to vote and all this stuff, you know. That's when the NAACP kind of started. They were trying to get groups together. You know, we was singing, walking down the street and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah, they wasn't stepping off the curb no more.
With my wife.
Okay.
Now I heard that the lake they found them in, so they found a few more bodies before they finally found them.
Am I blocking her? Am I blocking her parking?
No.
Oh, okay.
She got a bag in. She got another car on the other side.
Okay.
Well, that's why I parked on the other side. You get me?
Okay.
They used to, when I was in, we didn't worry about the white folk because we had our own places and stuff. We had our own place to eat at and like that. And when they made it where you could mix it up. That's really, really, really hurt us.
When they decided to integrate and allow y'all to go to the white establishment.
Yeah, they left our place alone and went to the white place. Now we ain't got no place. We ain't got a hotel here. Black hotel. When I was here, they had black hotels. Young Bills had hotels. Now everywhere you go, the white folks on them. You go to eat now, you got to go to Western Civil. White folks on it, where we eat at now.
The black guys down there, the owners of that place.
Huh?
Black guys on that place.
Okay, well, I didn't sound that name sound like a white man.
Crazy, man.
That's all I was saying. Western Civil is a white man name.
Right.
If you go anywhere and look it up in the book, you'll see that Western Civil is a white man.
But they say that happened a lot of places all over. Once
You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, because down on the coast, they talk about that all the time.
Right.
Communities was black, but then
Right,
with
you could,
integration.
if you had to spend your money with you, right now, if your car break down right now, the black man fixing on a car can't get your car in there because you believe the white folks could do a better job.
Okay. Mr. Charlie Sugar Sweet.
They carry the car to the dealer, to the white folk dealer,
And they ripping you off.
and thinking he can do a better job.
Okay,
That's
now,
it.
Charlie's was the nightlife. What did you do in the daytime? Was it in the sports? Negro League teams?
Daytime, they used to have, ain't no work here now. When I come along, they had Ackman. Ackman worked at 1,400, where I worked at. Flintco worked at 2,000. Creosote worked at 4,000. And right now, you ain't got nowhere to work at. Ain't no job, the job gone. Tell me what they making some of here, and you'll see what I'm talking about. See this right here? Parker Brickyard right there. Made all of these bricks. You see these brick houses? They made the brick right there in Bonita. I worked at Ackman where they made all them doors and these, all of this stuff here made at Ackman, these chairs. Now, this stuff shipped him from Tokyo or somewhere. Ain't nothing made here no more. You're looking for a job now, you got to go to China or somewhere. I bought a bar soap the other day made in Pakistan.
Wow.
He asked you about the baseball when you coming up. He said y'all had a baseball team.
Oh yeah, we had a baseball team. Yeah, Ackman Village Supply.
So you played a little baseball? So
Yeah, I played right field, yeah.
You played what?
Right field.
Right field.
Yeah.
Left hand or right hand?
If I'm right-handed, I'm right-handed all the way.
Right
Yeah.
field, that's a bad position.
Yeah, how you end up in right field?
Yeah, put somebody over there.
How we end up in right field?
Yeah.
Well, I just give it a territory right there.
You know what that Tommy said? You know what that Tommy said? She know about baseball. She knows about baseball.
I'm playing with Page. Page. I play with Page.
Josh Gibson?
No, Josh Gibson was with the Globetrotter when I was playing.
Okay.
God Gibson with St. Louis. He was playing with the Globetrotters.
So where'd you play with such Page at?
Here.
Here?
Buckwall Stadium. We had a stadium there, old 50,000.
Where was that at?
Right here. Buckwall Stadium. On 23rd Avenue.
All right, so you said you played with Satchel Paige and y'all had... Back to the stadium. What was the name of the stadium?
Buckwall Stadium.
And where was that at?
On 22nd Avenue.
So is it still there?
No, it's gone.
So was that a black stadium or...
Or white stadium. They had a ball between him. Regis Miller used to play there.
Okay. But that's where the Negro League, y'all played y'all games too?
Yeah, we played in before the white folks stadium. We played in it when they ain't playing.
Did y'all ever play against them?
No. We
Why
had a black cat club. We had a club from Laws. They like that. Mobile, Birmingham,
Okay.
Tuscaloosa.
Okay.
So why you couldn't play white team?
Yeah.
Why?
I played for Ackman. 7D Wise was the man. He had the bus. Carried us to practice and play. Where I worked at the funny stuff, the uniform and stuff. Ackman.
So do y'all have a picture from your team?
Or what?
A picture from your team? A group picture from your team?
I had some pictures, but everything, well, I left everything I had up north.
Now you do got a picture of his mother and his father.
I had pictures, but I come back down here and didn't bring nothing with me.
Okay. The reason I asked because they had a Negro League team in Biloxi, Gulfport, and about 2 years ago they inducted those players into the Biloxi Baseball Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame? Okay.
Yeah. And I see now, I saw on the national news where if you played on a Negro League team,
They
were making you
they
an
were- they
official
picked out the
Major
best
League
one.
Baseball player.
Right, right. I know they picked out the best one.
Well, no, they didn't say they were picking out the best ones. They said if you played on a
They
Negro
picked out
League
like
team,
Garth
they were,
Gibson and all of them.
yeah, back then. But they said now, if you played on one
You
of
can-
those teams, they made you an official Major League Baseball player.
We had the league that's like the white folks had. We played one another that's like they played now.
Yeah, they made that movie about y'all. What, Richard Pryor starred in it.
Oh, you talking about bingo long?
Black Cat, Lord, Black Cat, T.S. used to man you then.
Okay.
My cousin played with the Boston Red Sox.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. So were you
Hurricane Boy.
Yeah. Were you any good?
Huh?
So were you any good?
Oh, I was too old when he did. He ain't been.
No, I'm talking about when you played
When I
with
played-
the Meridian team.
We were just playing for fun.
Was you any good?
So back to the question. Said, well, we know that position.
Come on back over here with us. I
I was on the team. The manager pick out the one who they let play.
Right. And everybody opinion on the term how you play.
They'll pick out the best players. You'll know the best because he'll pick them out to play when they go play a real game. You'll know who the best.
Like to be like James Brown. You know James Brown play basketball. Don't you?
James Brown.
I mean LeBron James.
Oh.
James Brown. James Brown.
Right.
You got it? He was lost there. The other guy, what's his name? Brian? The one guy in that helicopter, what's his name?
Kobe Bryant.
I ain't hit y'all.
Oh, we sorry.
What's his name?
Oh,
That dude got hit in that helicopter. What's his name?
Toby Bryant.
Yeah, I knew all this. No, I knew all this.
Yeah, we know that. We was all
So those Toby Bryant.
All right, so y'all went to Charlotte when y'all went out to have fun. You played baseball and they on the weekends, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. What else was going on? Did you go swimming or anything?
What did we used to? We had a pond, had 2 ponds up in Topton, and on a Sunday, we swim a mile across.
You had to swim a mile across. Why?
He was 1 mile across it, and we learned how to start here and can swim over there without just naked swimming, without having carrying something with you to keep you from sinking. You learn how to go across there, then they call you a fast swimmer.
Okay.
You need no inner tube.
You need no goals or buckets or nothing to hold you up. If you get out there and start sinking or something, you could go across there, jump in the water and go to the other side.
So what happened if you start sinking?
Huh?
So what happened if you start sinking?
Well, it'd be a bunch of somebody get you if you
okay.
started
Okay.
having cramps or something like that.
Okay.
One of your buddies will come get you.
Yeah, they'll be out there with you anyway. You won't be going by there. Of course, there'd be 10 or 12 of us going across there at one time.
Oh,
Okay.
looking out for each other.
Yeah, if somebody catch a cramp or something like that, you can, till you learn how to go across there, you get the 2 goals and put a string and put it, lay on them like a life jacket. You know, something to hold you up in the water. Get an inner tube and carry it with you.
Okay. Let's go back inside the house when you was young for a minute. So, we was cooking the food on what?
Huh?
What was we cooking the food on in the house when you was young?
On the stove and then the fireplace, some of it.
So some of it in the fireplace, you had the pot that went in the fireplace,
Yeah.
and you had now when you say stove, we talking about the wood
Stove.
burner.
Wood stove, that's all. The stove that's made, that's like they made now, but it just put wood up in it and made the fire, that's all.
Oh, you ain't had a pot belly?
It had the eyes on it like the stove got now. You put the pot on top of the stove and put the fire in the inside there, like 95 down up under there, but it had a grate there. You put the fire there and on the side of the stove. The stove was made a little different when they made now. 95 up under the middle of the stove. When you put the wood in the side of the stove right there.
So the stove was made similar
Made
to the
the
one
same way they made now, but you put the fire
on the
in there
side.
different. You put wood in there.
First I heard about that.
Yeah, they were cast iron, and
You ain't
take
seen a
the-
wooden stove?
Yeah, you could take the top
Oh,
off
that's
the
right.
eye.
A wood stove.
Yeah, you could take the top off the eye, and it had some pots that were round.
Right.
And
You
could
take the
set
eyes off of it.
Yeah, because you
Set
open
the
the door,
pot
you
on
put the
there.
wood right in there, and then you
Right
cook
in
on
there.
this side.
Yeah, the food go on this side and the wood on this side.
Right.
95 up under the stove.
Yeah,
This,
I remember
this
some
gas
of
fire is up under the stove on the door, and the gas is up under there. When the gas stove, it's on the side. Wood stove is on the wood is on the side, and this over here is the door where you put the food and stuff in.
I remember they had that section.
Yeah, you
Where
put the
you
wood
keep
in
the
there,
water
start the fire, and
Had a thing there
all the stoves and
for
the,
water. No, like if you needed hot water,
Oh.
it was
you had a kettle, you put the water in.
no, it was a stove. It was made off in the
Oh,
stove.
well, they had a back on the stove.
Uh-huh.
You could
Yeah,
put it,
with the
fill it
water
up with
in.
water,
Mhm,
and
and the
then
water
when you
stay
put to make the
hot.
fire, to heat the water
Yeah.
like a tank on the back of the stove.
Yeah.
We had that stove too.
Okay.
When you put 5-gallon water in it, like a hot water tank.
See, I thought everybody was using the pot belly stove.
No, there's on
That
the
was
back
a
of the
heater.
stove, the pipe
Was
with it.
everybody?
You put the hot water back there. You fill it up with water, and then you can let it out like you do a faucet.
To put they, well, I guess it makes sense that you had to have something that you could like bake with. Because everybody was
Yeah.
talking about that's what they put their pots and stuff on, and they irons when they got ready to iron clothes on
Okay.
that pot belly stove.
Oh, okay. We set
You
up
would
in
put
front
the
of
smoothing iron
fireplace.
on top of the stove and let it get hot. and you get some pine straw like them pine straw out there to rub it on and get that smoke off of it. You rub it on like them pine trees out there. You get them kind of leaves and then rub the smoothing iron on it and make it iron stuff.
Okay.
That make it slick.
Yeah.
So-
I don't remember how them work.
That rolls them and make it slick.
So, did you have icebox back then?
They had ice box.
And the Iceman came, how?
Ice man come by every day or every other day. And you buy 50 pounds, 25 pounds, 100 pounds like that.
Okay.
I bought ice from the ice man. George Wallace was the ice man then.
Not the Alabama George Wallace.
No. He was the governor, that George Wallace. This was a color man.
Oh,
He went over
okay.
down the street and he was selling ice.
Blue color. That's right, blue color.
So we had George Wallace come through the ice.
Yeah, that George Wallace y'all thought about was a white man up in Alabama. He come to Detroit. Well, he come to Detroit when I was up there. When I did it, they gave him so much money he had to have a freight train to haul it away from up there.
Whoa. No, white
He
folks.
wasn't. He raised more money than Mr. Trump did. Come up there talking about niggas.
Segregation.
That's we come up there, and they were just getting them money. The white folks up there, man, like they wasn't segregated and nothing like that. Tonight, Mr. Bush he gonna come on. They gonna be talking about us, and they gonna just give him all kind of money. And say he ain't did nothing wrong. And he gonna win the next election and gonna make this a good country again.
Who you say, Mr. Who?
Mr. Trump.
I know. Oh, he said it was a bush.
Can I offer y'all some? Y'all want a little drink or something?
No, we good. Thank you.
So my flowers didn't have no water, they did.
They didn't have any make water before you left.
Yeah, but they needed some.
I thought them flowers started withering up. I know them flowers need some water. I didn't put no water on them.
So what was your wife's occupation?
Well, that's a housewife, that's all.
Just a housewife? Okay.
She got a little job after all the children got gone.
And then what was she doing then when she finally started?
A short order cook.
Short order cook?
Yeah.
What jobs were available back then?
Huh?
When you were younger, let's say in your 20s, what jobs were available down south to black people?
Archman, railroad, plant coal, creosote.
Now what about,
Diggy Clay,
what about black,
Moonies,
what was the last one you said?
Moonies,
What is that?
what they make funny here,
Okay. So those jobs were available
to black folks,
males and females?
male and female.
Okay.
Dicky Clay,
But apparently they didn't pay too well since you left here.
huh?
I said apparently they didn't pay too well since you
Well,
left here.
When I left here, I was making 40 cents an hour.
When you got to Detroit, how much were you making an hour?
253.
But you left at 19, right? Oh, you left at 19.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were 19 when you left. 47.
Yeah.
They were paying 40 cents an hour for that.
And then you went up there and started making $2.50 an hour.
Where were you born at?
Topping.
Hospital, midwife?
My wife, Lordy there.
No. Were you born at the hospital or midwife?
My midwife, Topping,
Probably a midwife.
Willan Stoke,
Okay, so you was born in a hospital in a house.
midwife.
And her name was Willie Ann Stokes?
Yes. They went over there and got in a wagon and brought her to the house. My sisters had some kids, midwife.
Really? So all of you and all your siblings
All us midwives
midwives.
didn't know nothing about no horse pills.
Was the same
What is the same?
midwife?
I don't ask the
You
women.
just- You just know the one for you.
I ask the women about that kind of stuff. Huh?
So who brought her in the wagon?
My daddy, they had to go get them in the wagon.
Okay.
They don't want to walk at night. They step on a snake or something. He go get the wagon and where they could ride.
And how long did
Buggy.
she stay? You know?
We had to go out the room when they was out in there hollering and going. we had to go to the other room, man.
Some people I've asked.
I don't know what was
stayed
happening.
for a week.
Huh?
Some people
No,
I've asked the midwife to stay
my
for a week.
sister never stayed in the bed for 3 days. That's all. That's all. And back then, you stay in the bed 3 days and you had to get up and walk around. I know that.
I looked on my birth certificate. I think I had a midwife too.
They had midwives
I
here.
know what they was. I know what they was.
They had midwives here.
So
They had midwives up in Detroit, everyone. That wasn't nothing. Midwife, that was the big thing.
how old are you again?
Huh?
How old are you again?
Me,
Yes, sir.
70, on my 93.
93. You try to take 20 years off right quick. So did you take? What's your diet been like? Have you taken any vitamins or supplements over the course of the years?
Now that's the regular stuff everybody else eat. That's all.
No.
That's all.
Well, what you eat? Cause see now I know, like I got a lot of neighborhood friends. They ain't even making it to 50.
Well, I don't.
I know our diet's different from the diets.
I ate out the field a lot. Most of I ate out the field.
Okay, so you ate a lot of natural stuff.
A lot of vegetables and stuff out the field.
So you haven't had too much processed food.
No, I raised our own food.
So what kind of food?
My
did
wife
you
had a
have?
garden in Detroit. She raised
Okay.
up turnips and mustard like that. I had a backyard. She had her own garden up there.
Okay, so she cooked fresh
Right,
fruits and
tomatoes and stuff
vegetables
like
up
that. She
there.
raised them up there.
Okay.
Oh,
Eat a lot of beans over the course of your life.
yeah. That's like that.
So-
You know,
Still today, do you still eat a lot of beans? And
I still eat peas and stuff like that. When they getting rid of the peas, we had crowder peas. Now they got this black-eyed peas. I don't know nothing. I don't know where the crowder peas went to. Now they got the black-eyed peas and took over. Everywhere you go now, they ain't got nothing but black-eyed peas.
Yeah, so I like the pink-eyed purple.
You know about the crowder
I
peas,
don't
don't
really
you?
like the crowder peas. They
Yeah,
turn
you know
brown.
about them. They was,
Yeah.
right now you go somewhere right now they ain't got nothing but black eyed peas. I said to myself, where the crowder peas went to?
Yeah.
Growing them as much.
So you have to get your
Just something.
have to get your cousin to
They
plant
was
you
they
some.
was sweet and all that big peas. Now they got them little black. Everywhere you go, any cafe you go to right now, they ain't got nothing but some butter beans and some black eyed peas.
Lima beans.
Yeah, you have to
Lima beans.
yeah, you have to get my
The
brother-
butter beans is gone.
have to get my brother to plant you some this year. Yeah.
I know William, they call him Sugarfoot, and we call him William Moore. Greg. He married Evelina.
Okay. Another one.
well, I got one more to touch on, and then I'm gonna be good. So mentioned church. So what was the church life like back in the time?
Churches.
I know the church served as a school, but how much were y'all going to church and all of that? What was that like?
My sister was a minister, my brother was a minister. E.D. Alford and Viola Little. Both of them were ministers. Well, I wasn't no minister.
Okay.
That's supposed to have some significance.
I really wasn't into the church like I,
So when
you
y'all,
know,
when y'all were younger, you wasn't going to church that much?
I went to church, but I wasn't really into the church.
He was into something else.
Okay. So you was in the church, but
I went to church, but I wasn't into the church.
Said, do we
My
want,
brother-
said, do we want that explained?
man, see how you switching up the
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wasn't into. Ooh. Yeah. Said it might be
My brother was a minister at TD Alford.
Okay.
it sound
he
like
had a church in my sister.
off the camera answer.
My
He said he wasn't into it.
So your parents, was it a requirement for you to go to church when you was younger?
my daddy didn't go to church.
But did they make y'all go?
No,
No? Okay.
my mother went, but I didn't. I wasn't raised with my mother.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But his brother did try to get him to come to
My
church.
brother, he was a teach Sunday school. I used to go to Sunday school and stay at church. Sunday school be at 10 o'clock and they have Bibles at 11 o'clock and they have service at 11:30. I used to go to Sunday school and stay and listen to him. And he'd call me up to the, I sat in the back of the church. He wanted to call me up to the morning bank.
Oh, oh, he wanted to pray for you.
Yeah, I stopped going on it. I didn't want to know about that kind of stuff. he would have called me from back here up there, sat on the front row up there.
So what do you want to tell you? What do you want to tell you about that invisible man?
What do you want to, pray for me?
Oh,
I didn't understand what it was like that. I was just ready to get out there and shoot some dice or something.
They're coming out now. It's coming out. Lord. I know. Yeah. So we ain't gonna dig any deeper there.
That's what I was into.
oh, I know what he was saying. I knew what he was saying. Tell you the man, you gotta get it right.
What part of them there?
Oh my goodness.
So, 93 years, what's something today that you were that you were amazed by, you never thought you would see?
What happened today that I thought I would never see? I hear what I said, something I said to my own self, and I heard other folks say it, and I saw it from my own eyes. I hear when I was 11, 12, 13 years old, we talked about white folks. My uncle said, this man here named J.B. going there to plantation. My uncle stayed on the place, Jesse Jackson. And his son-in-law had a wife, had a little baby, and he got about where he could walk, and he brought him to the commissary. And my uncle said, y'all that was to call him, say yes or no sir to him, because you're going to have to say it in 2 or 3 more years anyway.
The baby?
That was back in the 30s. That's what he said. And I didn't say that. I know he was telling the truth. Then he said, they got to talking about black folks, and we're saying we ain't gonna never see a black president and stuff like that. And I done lived to see a black president. I done saw something that they said I would never see.
Yes, indeed. Did you get the vote for President Obama?
I voted for him.
Yes, indeed.
When I was him, we wasn't allowed to vote. And you can vote him now. I got my registration card in my pocket now. Since I've been back down there, I went and signed up to vote. And when I was a boy, you couldn't vote. Not in Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas. You know, all of them southern states you couldn't vote in. Now you can vote in all of them states and stuff. That's something ain't that old that we doing that we said we wasn't gonna never do. And you can living in different places. And riding anywhere on the bus and airplane and stuff. We had to sit on the back of the bus. And on the train and stuff like that, we couldn't sit with the white folks. We couldn't go to school with them.
Yeah.
They had different books than we had. And
You got your pretty good interview.
Yes, sir.
now we got the same stuff they
They're gonna
got.
be laughing. They're gonna be laughing. Especially when you get to the same round.
Yes, indeed.
Boy. See, you gonna have people want to come down here.
So you thought you would never get to see a black president? Vice
I
president?
thought I'd never see a black president like that, and I didn't know we would go be on the police force. We polices now. We can arrest white folks. I ain't never thought I'd see that.
What about technology-wise? You said now, when you went to Charlie's and got that phone number, we had to use the telephone to bring
Well,
up. What about technology now?
Stuff. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna cool it off a little. I'm gonna tell you what my cousin told me. 1944. My cousin, we was talking. And my cousin was a host, and her daddy was Reverend Hostin's daughter. And his wife is my grandpa's sister. Reverend Holton is my grandpa's sister. Jean Jackson. That's my grandpa. And she said this and she said that I said, what? She said, we talking on the telephone, said one day you gonna be talking on the telephone, can see the folks on the other end. And I looked at her like she was crazy.
And now you know.
And on here today, and you can put them there and make them talk together and then look at who you're talking to and all that stuff.
FaceTime, what they call it.
A lot of stuff that you said couldn't be is here today I see. We didn't have no electric lights while I was born there. Wasn't no electric lights out there. Wasn't no electricity out there. I know when the electricity coming. Tennessee Valley Electricity, that was where it come from. They made it in Tennessee. They call it Tennessee Valley Electricity Company.
Man walking on the moon.
And Glenn is the first man walked on the moon. And they said anybody got to the moon, rule us. They were racing to see who's gonna get to the moon first. The United States got to the moon first, but I see where they done beat him this last time. They done, what they call them, got the Mars, and we ain't got that. We're trying to get the plateau, Jupiter somewhere. Pluto, and we are rule the world. But these other folks done got up there on Mars, and they said they saw some moisture up there anywhere water is life is there. It's some old folks somewhere. I believe it's some old folks somewhere like we finding you folks right now on these little islands and stuff don't know they're there.
Let me ask you this. You just reminded me of something. So, what you do to keep your mind so sharp? What kind of brain activities do you do? You read?
I played all kind of games.
Oh, you tell you the best is good, boy.
Okay.
Guess what you really do?
I played the guitar a little bit.
I'm talking about what you do downtown on the table.
I played checkers, I played
Checkers, thank you.
Georgia skin, I played poker, I played all kind of games.
He's a professional checker
And
player.
Professional checker player.
Can't beat him. Everywhere I took him, he beat the guy. They don't even want to come back.
Really?
Beat him 25 games and no. He might win one. He might let him win one. Everywhere he go though. And I didn't know it now. A lot of people know him by that. Playing checkers.
They called me Bear.
You know what? And he ready to fight when he finish.
You know what Pete Martin, Mississippi is?
Ooh, you talk trash too. Ooh.
Told him that my dad gonna get his machine going to see.
Oh my goodness.
Hey, you know what he did? I'm a king. I'm a king. When the boy be so mad, I be like, oh, I gotta stand my clothes out. And he ready to fight, man.
He definitely related to my daddy.
Oh, you ain't heard me.
Oh.
I was thinking good.
You play spade and bid win?
Huh?
Spade, bid wins, you play those?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
So that's how you keep that mind sharp. And I can
That's
tell
the
you watch a lot of news, too. I can tell you watch a lot of news.
I just make up stuff, my own stuff I make up. I don't,
How you know they made it to Mars then?
huh?
How you know they made it to Mars then?
I hear them talking. The way they was talking, they went somewhere.
Yeah, you know.
I believe everything else, but I ain't gonna believe that.
Case over.
When he come down here, he was telling me about all the streets, all the people he knew, everybody he knew, all the streets. Everywhere he go, they be like, wait a minute, that man ain't no 93. He know 92. He know the people's names. He know the middle name. Know the street where they live in.
Everybody call off, he say their whole name.
Now what I'm telling you, he ain't heard nothing. He's getting a taste of it. Man, I'm like, what? Wait a minute.
That's why I say, that's why I try to do it, because we don't see, I get an opportunity to interact with people from your generation by doing this. Otherwise, you know, we wouldn't get a chance to contact y'all. But for the generation that come after me, they might not be able to physically interact with you. But to see somebody 93 years old, mind sharp as a tack, in good health, you came out here, you wasn't on a walking in no chair.
You ought to see where he live. Where you gonna live at? You live upstairs.
See that?
I bet you walk up there one time, you the rest, when you get up there. Shoot. You walking upstairs for me, I ain't gonna tell you that.
See? But that let your relatives that's coming after you know they come from good genes.
You got some good ones, boy. You got some good ones, I tell you that.
Yeah. So,
You do pretty good, you know, you do pretty good.
well, I appreciate you taking the time to entertain me.
Well, I'm glad y'all come up here and this stuff is out. I was gonna come down there. That man got that shop down there. He said he had some checker players down there. He was gonna come up here and get me.
Oh yeah.
But I don't want to play, you know, to this damage, you know.
Yeah, he'll come and get you once everybody get their shots and this stuff.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Where it go?
Okay. Bassett City. Now you gotta figure out where Bassett City
I'm
is.
gonna find you somebody on the coast. Now I'm gonna be looking.
We'll come down there.